All right, guys, welcome back to episode 2 of NYC Adoptee. I'm rather nervous for this one, guys. I don't know why, because I've shot these videos, I've shot this type of intro many times for my other channel, but just given the nature of the content and what I'm talking about and everything, it's just completely different. So I got a little stage fright. If you missed the first video, in sum, this is an exploratory vlog that kind of documents my struggles with identity, me being a Korean American adoptee, me having a quarter-life crisis, all of that stuff, not really knowing what to do and feeling frozen and stuck in life, because that is where I am at, and that is where I have been for many years now, and it is very frustrating. So I decided to take to what I know how to do, which is this: make videos, edit them myself, talk into a camera, and ride my motorcycle around to try to work through some of this confusion and frustration. So that's what this channel is in a nutshell. I'll get more into what led me to create this channel and what led me to this period in time on the ride, and I will also share a little bit about my adoption and what I know about my adoption and how it's made me feel in a nutshell. It's a very dense subject, so this is gonna be an overview video. But yeah, if you saw the first video and you came back, I very much appreciate it. If this is your first time tuning in, welcome to the channel. As you can tell, it's very new. I probably have 0 subscribers. Let's get riding. I'm gonna try to keep this as seamless as possible. So today's really a test day for this new microphone I got, and also the wired setup I have on my helmet. So just bear with me here. I'm gonna try to cut as little as possible. So let's go. All right, now let's see what I'm talking. Yeah, it doesn't blow out. Okay, so for my other channel, I usually have 2 audio lines going. I have the actual camera audio, and I put a wind muffler over the whole thing so you can really hear the bike. And then I have the wired mic that's in my helmet wired to an external mic so I can record what I'm saying. For this vlog, I'm just wiring straight into the camera, so we're not going to get like that fantastic bike sound. But given the nature of this channel, it's not really about the motorcycle, it's more about the content of what I'm saying, so I don't think it matters as much. Again, trial and error for today. Everything is slightly different than I'm used to and or new, so we'll just see how this video comes out, and I have promised that I'm going to just post as is, and we're going to capture everything in its raw form. So this video is going to be what it's going to be. If it's not exactly what I want, it'll be better tomorrow. Today's plan, what I'm hoping to do is get into the city, ride around, talk about the things that have been going through my head in the past day, and then go home and throw it on the computer, see how it looks, push it out, delete the footage. I'm not holding on to anything. I'm just doing this as honest as possible. So right now we're in Long Island City, which is in Queens. That across the water is Manhattan, and yeah, let's get into Manhattan. Maybe we go, I know, 2 different ways. So I've gone back and forth about, whether or not to do the motorcycle thing, because it feels so similar to my moto vlog, right? And I don't want this just to be a moto vlog, but it, that's the intent, is to make this different. The motorcycle is a part of my life, and it's a really important part of my life, and I do a lot of thinking, a lot of talking on the motorcycle, so that's why it kind of has to be in the video, because this is what I default to for enjoyment, therapy, self-needed time to reflect. So I can't not have the motorcycle, but I don't want it to be a motorcycle vlog. This is really an overall vlog. I don't know. But then again, the point of this channel is to, for good, better or worse, whether it makes me look stupid or silly or it doesn't, is what I wanted it to be or not, I want to just post the video in its rawest form so that I capture the moment, and I also, am just honest with you guys. Like, I don't want to do a whole bunch of cutting in this video, which is why I'm trying to work on the seamless transition between the intro part and the riding, because I just want to go. Now, I will say this, the only part that I think I'm going to cut out is sitting at red lights, sitting in traffic, anything that's just dead space for the sake of being dead space, I'm probably going to cut out. And that's, you know, unless you want to have an hour and a half long video, you know, which I could post that's cool, but I don't know, it's not exactly beneficial to anyone. I have my other channel for that. My other videos are less cut, and they're kind of just the bike doing its thing, especially my highway rides. So I'm gonna cut out the really boring parts that are just dead space, just taking up screen time, and for the most part try to condense the parts that I'm saying, like the content of what I'm saying. But I'm going to try to live by the rule of not cutting out anything I say, even if it's stupid, because I want you to hear all of it, just so you get it, and you know I'm not trying to craft a story. That's super important to the intent of this channel. Is I'm not crafting a story. I am trying to convey my reality. I'm trying to share my real state of being in this time and place. So no scripts, no here are 3 things you should do to become happier or to shake your depression. This is not that. This is, some days I'm gonna feel good, some days I'm gonna feel bad. You're gonna hear about both of them. And yeah, hopefully these videos help other people who are feeling just as stuck, because I can tell you right now it's very isolating, and it has been isolating for years. I'll get into that once I get on the highway towards Manhattan, but the build up to this stage of my life where I decided, you know what, I can't do a normal job, I can't do this anymore. I gotta devote all my energy and all my thoughts to making content, even though it's not making me any goddamn money. I gotta do this because this feels right. This moment in my life was brought about by years of working for jobs that I just absolutely hated, which we all do, but also knowing for a long time that this or what I was doing was not me, but I had to do it because that's part of life. And just put your head down and work hard and stop complaining, right? Now, that I'm done with that. I'm frustrated. So, you know, if somebody would watch this, that would make it all worth it. If I get 3 viewers, I'll be super happy. All right, let me get through some of this because it's not a particularly entertaining area, and I'm gonna check back in. Oh, fuck it, I might as well start now. So, I guess I'm starting all anew again. I'm starting from scratch with this channel, guys. It's interesting. So I have worked. First of all, my name is Colin Bernard. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to me. Welcome to the world. New York City through my eyes. I was not born here. I was born in Korea, but I was raised in New York City, downtown Manhattan. I am 38 years old, and I've lived in New York for 33 of those years. I did go to college in Boston for 5 years, and I studied film for 4 of them, and then I just lived there for a year. I arguably got to college, I think most people feel this way, I got in too early, and I just kind of wasn't really in it. I didn't utilize it the way I should have. So when I got out, I worked back in Manhattan, back in New York. I worked in TV for 2 years. I worked for the Food Network and National Geographic for different shows, and then very quickly decided I wasn't interested in that. I had always worked in restaurants in some capacity throughout college, whether it was at a cafeteria or an actual restaurant, mostly actual restaurant. And I knew that I had that skill set, so I defaulted to restaurants in the city, bumped around between 3 or 4 of them in my busboy days, and then found a higher-end restaurant in the West Village where I became interested in wine. So I started really taking restaurants seriously, and it was different than working at like a bar and grill where you just kind of like run the food. This was a restaurant trying to do something, and it was providing an experience. High-end wine, I mean, like, you know, anywhere from $300 to $15,000 bottles of wine. I got really turned on by that. It was really alluring. So the sommelier at the time took me under his wing, got me educated in in wine, and I kind of ran with that for 5 years. I became a somm. I got my degree. I became a somm at that restaurant, and then I bumped around the city, a couple other places being a sommelier, transitioned to management, which is how that usually goes. And that was it. So fast forward 15 years, I'm here. Now, over the course of those years, I had some great experiences, and I loved it. I had a great time in restaurants. It's really fun if you like the hustle and bustle of a restaurant. The hold on, let's get around this guy. If you like the hustle and bustle of restaurants and the kind of the fun party nature that restaurants come with, great experience. And I kind of got lost in that for a bit. About 5 years ago, made the decision that I am in fact an alcoholic and should not drink. So this is probably the worst career for me, specifically the wine aspect, being a somm, but more so just restaurants in general. So kind of set my sights on getting out of restaurants. That was my immediate goal. So for at least 5 years, like a couple years prior to that discovery, I also did not want to work in restaurants. Just I was too tired. It's too boring. Every place I worked at was the same. You're just serving food to rich folks, at least in Manhattan. So I knew for a long time I didn't want to be in restaurants, but I just put my head down and I was like, well, you got to have a job and you're still young. But the time flies by. And for those 5 years, I consistently hated every place I worked at. I was turned on by aspects of it. There were aspects of it that I really liked. But after month 2 at every place I worked, it was pretty much like, all right, I'm over this. I don't want to do this. So I've gone through so many restaurants, starting and stopping, getting to know new teams, and especially in a management capacity. Like, you're at an upper level. You're not just a server. So as you come in, you got to know everybody. You got to learn the social hierarchy, the politics of the place. You have to learn how to work people, not in an evil way, just like what people respond to. And so starting and stopping that over and over and over. I mean, I must have worked at about 8 places in 5 years, which is a terrible reflection on me, but it's really just an honest reflection of where I was at. I didn't want to do it anymore. That was it. I knew it. Everyone else knew it. After month 2, so the history was kind of written, and I was just going back over and over the same pattern. And so only recently, like in the past 2 years, I tried to get out. I worked at a motorcycle dealership. I worked at a construction company as a project manager for a GC. And I just, the scale was different because everywhere you go, you got to start somewhere, or you got to have a degree, which I don't have that degree. So if you don't have the degree, you got to start at the bottom. So I started at the bottom, making $15 an hour. I was making $80,000 to $100,000 an hour in restaurants, so it's a far jump down. And so, had I been 22, that career path makes sense. It's like how I started in restaurants. You start as a busboy, then you work your way up. But mentally, it just doesn't make sense. So everything I start just feels like, why am I doing this, right? Like, and then I have a support system. I do. I have a mother who loves me. My partner, my now fiance, loves me. Try to help me work through things. What do you want to do? What are you good at? And it's like that question. It's meant to help you, but it is so debilitating because it's like, I don't know. I don't have time to breathe. I'm working 45, 60 hours a week serving people food. I'm naturally introverted, so I'm like exhausted by the time I'm done with work. I can't think about this, right? So like, I just don't have it in me. And so I've been going through this cycle for quite some time. And I just like, I'm kind of dead inside, So it's really built up in the past year because every year I know this truth, but I have to keep going. And so this year I've taken 2 jobs. And the first one I quit after 3 months, and the second one I was fired after 3 months. Now I'm 38. I'm a pretty personable person. I don't seem like a crazy person. I don't think. You guys let me know. And it to most people on the outside, i.e. all my friends and people who I talk to, they're like, how could it be so hard for you to hold a job? Like, it it's weird. It just doesn't seem like you seem like you'd be perfect wherever you go. And it's true, but it's a me thing and it's a mental thing. It's I'm at the breaking point and I just don't have it in me anymore to play games or work for someone else, which is problematic because I'm young and I got a whole life ahead of me, so they say. So it's like, what are you doing? You got to figure this out, right? That's what I think to myself, what people tell me. So I can't figure it out for the life of me. So what I decided, this was like 2 weeks ago, I was talking to my fiance, and it was like, she said, she wants me to be happy and to do, doesn't care what I do, just whatever you do, do it. Don't do it halfway, like too much of this back and forth stuff. Like, if you want to do a YouTube channel, if you want to make videos, then go make the videos and do them right? I've been doing the motovlog thing, but it really, that's a thing of casualty, sorry, not casualty, casual nature. Like, I do this, I ride and I film, and I just plop it, and it's fun, but I don't have any intent with it. So I started thinking, and I said, you know what, I have been on some terrible interviews that I've ruined myself, and it's just clear. Make the jump. Like, do it or don't. So that's why I decided to create this channel, and that's why I'm starting them in this kind of like seemingly chaotic way. Like, I don't have the structure that I think that I would need to create a channel, but it's like, you know what, whatever. Get it out there. Anything's better than nothing. So, like, put it out there. If you need to change your camera setup, post the video that has a bad camera setup, and then work on the next one. I would be doing a video a day, so who cares, right? Just get it out there, start doing it. So the first video I made, which I posted yesterday, is just me talking to the camera in the room, and I'm like, you know what, just post it. This one, who knows how this is going to come out. Maybe you can't hear me at all. If not, I'll maybe cut it short, but I'm still going to post something. I'm still going to put something up. And I think only through that repetition will I find my groove and find my jam and figure out how to do this thing. But all in all, this channel, the real goal is to find myself, find some direction, deal with one of the many things that I think is really stopping me from moving forward is my adoption. I've never dealt with it. I'm 38. I have parents who are as white as Xerox paper. Very loving, very supportive. It's a multi-layered thing, it's not just a couple sentence description, but I seemingly on paper everything is cool, but that's also a detriment because I've kind of pushed this issue off for so long. Every time people talk about it, like, oh, how's it affecting your life? I'm like, oh, no, that's fine, it's fine, it's not really a thing. But it is a thing, and it's trickled down to every facet of my life. And I seem to be I'm stuck for reasons that I can't quite connect yet, but I know it has something to do with my adoption and the effects of being adopted. Maybe not necessarily that my parents gave me up, not that actual part of the experience, but that has affected me in ways, maybe developed qualities in me that are preventing me from moving forward. So I want to explore that. I want to trace these things. I want to talk them out. I want to share them. And with the hopes that, like, I'm not the only one who's adopted. There's a ton of adoptees out there. So, like, maybe other people are feeling the same way. Actually, I know they're feeling the same way. And this can help somebody get over their hump. So that's the kind of impact I want to have, regardless of money or anything. Like, I want to do good in the world. Small scale, large scale. I just want to make a difference. I want to matter. I think that's pretty universal among people, but that's what I've decided over the past week is, like, I want to do something that matters, man. I can't keep serving fucking pasta and whatever food of the restaurant I'm working at. Like, that's just depressing to me. So this is pretty monotonous right here. I'm gonna jump to the end, and then I just touched on adoption briefly, but I suppose I should get that out there too. I haven't said it in so long. I'll share that in a minute. This is my therapy. I know it looks absolutely chaotic to most people. This is This feels so good. This is just, when I'm having a rough day, this is it. This is the jam. For a long time, I rode to and from work every day. I suppose when I had a job, I rode to and from work every single day, and it's great for years, for like 3 years, every single day, and that kept me cool, calm, and collected at work. I could have a terrible day, someone could scream in my face at the front of a restaurant. I was like, that's cool, I'm out, and then once my day's done, I'd jump on this here bike or my other bike. You'll see my other bike if you continue to watch my footage, my videos. I have a Triumph Street Triple, a sporty bike that I mostly use for weekend rides now. Speaking of which, I have no income and I have 2 services, this bike and the other bike, to do. I'm so fucked. Oh God. Oh, you know that meme of people who say like, it's that dog in the burning fire drinking coffee. He's like, everything's fine. Yeah, that's where I'm at right now. That's the embodiment of where I'm at. Everything's fine. Don't worry. Alright, let's see. So as promised in the description, we're going to ride through New York City. This is a spiritual journey. This is a spiritual journey, adoptee journey, finding yourself journey, but it is also a showcase of New York City. You will get a first-hand view of the city from the seat of either this Indian or a street triple. Look at that kid. Big balls, big balls. Oh, shit. Big bumps in the street. Hey. So, right now, we are about to go over the Manhattan Bridge. That is that bridge right there. Some fresh air. That gets us into Canal Street, which will go through Little Italy. If you follow my other channel, you will have seen this ride 100 times. Go through Little Italy, maybe some Soho, and cut back uptown. Wherever the story leads us, my friends. Wherever the story leads us. That makes my heart feel so good. Uh-oh. I need gas. Gotta go get gas. Alright, so I guess that's where we're going. We're gonna go get gas. We're gonna cut through there, go to the West Village, get gas. So that's the game plan. Different experiences, different bikes for different experiences. This certainly helps me unwind after a long day, which is why you'll be seeing a lot of videos on this bike. Oh, can't go there. So I can't show you the cool street. I guess on the weekends they rope it off for the pedestrian. Okay, so, well, I guess we're in, well, I'm not Chinese. So, I am a Korean-American adoptee. Again, 38 years old. I think I said that like 5 times in this vlog. I was adopted when I was 5 months old from Seoul, Korea, and came here, I suppose at 5 months. Maybe 6 months, I don't know. But my parents, my adoptive parents, are both white. My father's from Utah, my mother's from New York, and about as white as you can get. I'll probably throw a photo up, or at some point you will see visually my parents. Very white. And I will say this, growing up in New York, this is New York, friends. All the time, every time, crazy busy. Growing up in New York kind of makes it easier. So here's the thing where, double-edged sword here. One, I was privileged. I was raised in the West Village, a nice area, always had food, always had clothes on my back. Parents paid for my education, no college debt, so everything seems gravy, right? And it's like, how could you complain? I also was raised in New York City, which is incredibly diverse, and everybody's weird. So it's not like I grew up down south somewhere where, like, I was one of two Asians, so I felt so isolated. Like, New York is accepting of everyone because everyone is here. I also have met adoptees in the past who have had terrible adoptee stories, like horrific things. That's not me. I had two loving parents, solid family, so, like, cool. Like, everything that I've had is, and my experience to this point, is on paper wonderful and gravy, and I should be perfect and fine. I should have my direction in life, right? Yada yada. So I'm very thankful for that. Don't get any of this twisted. And part of me feels guilty having these thoughts, which I think is an adoptee thing. But not everything is perfect at all. And I think the fact that everything was, like, seemingly good on paper allowed me to go through so much of my life saying, oh, being adopted isn't a thing, it doesn't affect me, I'm good. Like, it allowed me to ignore a lot of the things that I think a lot of people who are faced with harsh realities don't have the luxury of ignoring. And so here I am at 38 being like, hey, maybe being adopted contributes to my feeling of isolation or inability to connect to people, right? But this is happening at 38, which is crazy to me. I know there's no time limit, but to some degree it feels like, seriously, like you've been through this before. But it's a recurring theme to me that keeps popping up, and I keep pushing it back down, and it keeps coming back up. And I guess it's what everybody says, which is, if you suppress something, it just comes back, and sometimes it comes back even stronger. So that's where I'm at right now, is even though on paper, I don't think, like, here's the thing. The issues that I'm having right now are recurring. It's a cycle. And I've gone to a therapist. I've talked about many different things. I've never really directly talked about my adoption because I've always said, like, oh, I don't think it's that. The cycles keep reoccurring, and every time I've said, it's not that. It might be this. Maybe it's this thing. So we focus on a different direction, or I think about other things. But it's not adoption, so I don't focus on adoption. Then it comes back in 3 years. Well, now I'm here, and I'm mentally exhausted of, like, going in these circles. So I'm like, even though I don't think right now, like, I can't point to any one aspect of my life and say that's because I'm adopted, it's got to be the answer, because it's the only thing I haven't explored. I've gone in circles and circles and circles and never come out the other side better for more than, like, a year. Like, mentally clearer, like more confident that I know a direction I should have. None of that. By the way, we're in Soho, if you couldn't tell. This is the main strip where you go and buy all the fancy stuff. I've never solved the problem, which leads me to believe maybe it's something that doesn't feel like it is the problem, which would be my adoption, which I know is a huge thing to cover. So I'm like, it's got to be that. And so even though I have no tangible evidence that's the thing, I'm like, I want to make this vlog, I want to talk about that, I want to figure that out, because I don't think it's that. I know it's got to be that. It's got to be something relating to my adoption. So again, on paper, everything's been good. Everything fits. Privileged, loved, in a city that doesn't make you feel like an alien, because everybody's an alien, right? Like, everything's cool. But that's what it is. And I think that my adoption has shaped me in a way that has made me unable to move forward. that's my thesis for the channel. That's my thought. That's my what do they call that? That my prediction is that at the end of this video project, or a couple months in, I will realize what aspects of being adopted have led me to be so miserable right now, so stuck, so unable to move forward. That's my thesis. I grew up, in fact, right around here. This was my stomping grounds. So this is a bit of a scatterbrained approach to the first part: who I am, what I've, my passport snapshot of who I am, and then a little bit of my initial thoughts on adoption. I'm not going too deep into any of it today because we're trying to keep it brief and friendly and give you a little intro into what I think the structure of this vlog is going to look like. The basic direction that I'm headed right now. I will say one thing that has factored in, I suppose this is like a split idea here, but a while back, I was, through a friend who is an adoptee, they turned me on to another friend of theirs who's also an adoptee, who was making a documentary called, at the time, I don't think he knew the name, but now it's called Side by Side. It's essentially a collection. I think he did 100 initially, 100 Korean American adoptees telling their story, basically unedited. I think sometimes he put a cut in there to like cut out dead spots, just like I'm trying to do with this, but like people just telling their adoptive story and him letting them run out the film. It was made by a man named Glenn Morey, and they were looking for candidates. So I said yes. This was when I was a sommelier back in the beginning of my restaurant era. So I was 23, 24. Now I'll try to find the video, put it in the link in the video, but that is a snapshot into who I was back then. And I remember doing the video, not really caring about it. Like I didn't think anything of it, and then I totally forgot about it for like, I don't know, 8 years. It's a long time that it just kind of went unnoticed. Hold on, let me get. So time passes, and all of a sudden that friend who introduced me to the project in the first place shoots me a text and is like, hey, you remember that thing you did? Yeah, well, he finally finished the project, and he posted it online, like the segments, the individual segments. You should go watch yours. And I was like, oh, cool. Like I wasn't that excited about it. A couple days passed. And then I watched it with my now fiance, and I like fell apart. It was crazy watching it because it was, oh man, it was really like gut wrenching. I also watched some of the other stories, which were like made mine like a walk in the park. But that was one terrible part of it. The other part of it is I was watching a former version of myself basically talk about the stage of life that I was at while watching it, and I was like, it's been almost a decade, and I'm still doing the same shit. I'm still stuck on the same issues in a different way, different setting, different restaurant. But I was like, man, I thought that was in my past. Like so that was the first time, and that was 8 years ago. So now it's been quite some time since I actually filmed it. It's been about half the time since I've watched it. I haven't watched it since, to be honest. I think it was a little painful, and I kind of subconsciously pushed it away. But at that point, I was like in the same spot that I was at when I filmed that. And so it made me realize that, like, hey, maybe there's some like reoccurring themes to that. Now I'm gonna share that era in a different video because it's just a lot to cram in. But that led to my first stage of like awakening for Korean American adoptee stuff, and then I backed off of that after, well, quite quickly, because I think it was a little too uncomfortable. I kind of wrote it off as like, I don't really care. Same thing, just pushing it to the side. Bonbonniere, famous diner, love that place. Just in time, guys. When this fuel light goes, that means like, yeah, like you're gonna be empty in a minute. These are pretty cool cars, though. I'm not a car guy. I'm more of a bike guy. Oh my God, 650. Thank God I got a motorcycle. It's like 2 gallons to the most happiness you'll ever have. What the? Oh. Jesus. The big question. Oh my God, $20. Jesus, usually like 11. Fucking Trump. Let me get out of here. Alright, let's go to Washington Square Park, because if you're new to these videos, which you have to be, because this is video 2, it's a fun view. This is Greenwich Ave, right in the heart of Greenwich Village. Again, my old stomping grounds. The first restaurant where I became a sommelier was down that way, right there. That was the first restaurant. Oh, so back to that video, side by side, great video project. But that was my first usher into Korean adoptee thinking, and then I quickly backed out. Now I'm coming back in again. Yeah. I'm back here after like 20 cycles later. But I don't know. Drop a comment down below if you ever hit that point. I think everybody hits this point. I don't think I'm unique. I don't think I'm special in that regard. Where you've had enough. I guess you get through your young adult life. You start your adult life. You get through it a bit. It's not as shiny as you thought it was. And then you realize you're just part of this matrix. You're part of this grid. And I'm like, I'm over it. And I'm just refusing. Because, you know, everybody just says, like, that's what you're supposed to do. That's how it goes. That's what it's like to be an adult. And I'm like, fuck that, man. I can't accept that. Like, honest to God, what's the point of doing all this? I got to do this for 35 more years. I got to do this again and again and again and just work for someone else's dream, right? Got to just be a cog in the machine. Like, I refuse. Maybe that's the New York in me. I don't know. I think it's the young person in me. I think I hear this a lot. Just other people have more tolerance for it. I lost all tolerance, and it was last couple jobs I had were a little probably rough to be on the receiving end as my employer. I'll save that one for another video. But yeah, I wouldn't have wanted to employ me neither. I get it. Yeah, so this has been on my mind for quite some time, but for this video I think is appropriate because I'm still easing into the channel, and I want to give you some of the basics about me, about my adoption, about where I'm from, New York City, all of that, before I start getting into like specific topics. I'm gonna have a couple videos like that. I'm gonna pull over somewhere here and do, I suppose, a recap. and then close this part out. I don't know. Again, I don't know how these videos are going to turn out. I don't know how I plan on ending them or really starting them. Today's start seems pretty solid, right? Intro on the bike. I don't know. You guys are watching not only me fall apart and lose my shit, but you're also seeing somebody create a vlog, and this is the stuff that oftentimes people do. They put it together in their head on paper, but I'm doing it in front of you guys. I'm looking like an amateur in front of you guys, so you can join me for the ride. I'm gonna pull over somewhere over there and call it. Let's do it right here. We're gonna pull over right here. Oh, Jesus. Alright, guys. And here's the transition part, I guess. You know what? I could just do... I'm gonna do it like this. Cool. I think we're good. And I think I could just keep rolling like this. And one minute. Got this handy dandy fancy new mic I got. Better, worse. I don't know. So I'm gonna close out this part of the video this way. I appreciate you guys joining the ride and listening to me yap. This is a little more about the channel in general, and I guess in sum, how has my adoption shaped my life? I'm not sure yet. I don't know, but I know it has, and I think I'm out of breath. I think that is a bigger step than I've ever taken with the topic of being adopted, which is that I know there's something there. Previously, it's been, no, it can't be that, I've made the conscious decision that is the thing that I want to explore, and that is the thing that's affected me greatly in life. It's not the job, it's not the people I'm around, it's not what motorcycle I have, that's it. And I don't know how, but I'm hoping you guys will figure it out with me. And I'm hoping I arrive at some type of conclusion through these videos and making them. So thanks for joining for this one, guys. I'm going to go cut this together and see what it looks like. I don't know. I got my fingers crossed. Again, this is NYC Adoptee, a channel for self-exploration, personal journey, adoptive journey, adoptee journey, all of that good stuff. Thanks for joining.